Makes you happy.
You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home.
JafriQ Radio.
Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy and gay. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home on JafriQ Radio. You're listening to Home Sweet Home on JafriQ Radio.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to Home Sweet Home. You are very much welcome. Thank you for tuning into JafriQ Radio. This is your favorite program, Home Sweet Home. Today we are coming to your home. Another great and excellent message for you. A message that will make your home become very, very sweet. That you will enjoy second heaven on earth in your marriage. Before then, let me introduce our honorable panelists to you. We have Mr. P.O.D. Mr. P.O.D. is here. And our own brother, I call him Uncle Kweku, because Uncle always have a lot for us. I know that you've missed Uncle. Today, Uncle is here. So, Uncle Kweku, you're welcome.
Yes, madam.
All right. And my name is Abena Poma. I'm your host. You can call me Dickness Poma. We have our able engineer, Mr. DJ Clemsy. He is here. And we have the producer, Mr. P.O.D. Producer is still sitting on his seat right now. And we have executive producer is in a person of Nanayao. You can call him P.O.P. Pop. Welcome once again. Let me acknowledge my sponsors. We have Bayside Modeling Agency.
This is JafriQ Radio.
The Church of Pentecost, Japan. We have AfroKids, Japan. Simon Noble Solicitors. Turmeric Hotel at East Legon in Ghana. Willie Knox Jeans.
This is JafriQ Radio.
And 1225 Jeans. You can also watch us live on YouTube. What we want you to do is just follow us, like us, and share. Share this program so that your friend or your family members will be part of the Home Sweet Home family. And your family and your home will be very, very sweet. Please subscribe our YouTube channel, the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and share with your friends. You are welcome.
Thank you.
My
Thank you.
able brothers. Today we have no female with us. So, please be kind with women today. Okay, today's topic for discussion is honesty in marriage. Honesty. Someone will say being the act of being truthful. Honesty. Being honest in your marriage. Let me start from Uncle Kweku. Uncle Kweku, today we will sack
Yes,
you.
madam.
Everything in you will come out. So, what is honesty? Your understanding of
Well,
honesty.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
To be honest means to speak the truth, even if it's difficult or gets you into trouble. Something that most people would think about it before doing. To be honest means to speak the truth, even if it is difficult or it will get you into trouble. If we want to go a little bit biblical, it says it's only the truth that can set you free.
Set you free.
Though it can get you into trouble, but
it
it
will
is the
still
same
set
thing
you free.
that can set you free.
Oh.
And as people communicate in an open and upfront way,
Okay.
they do not lie, cheat, steal, or manipulate information in order to conceal it from others, in order to hide it from others. The perception is occasionally telling a white lies. This is the first time I heard a lie being attached to the word white.
Right.
Exceptions is telling a white lie. It is a lie. You know why is it called a lie? Whether you give it a black lie or white, yellow lie or whatever, it is still called a lie. Because most people do. You see, there was an information that's contained in one of the research that was done in 2009 by one man called Jabba.
Okay.
And he says the white lies are done in order to protect somebody's feeling. You know what you are saying is lies, but you want to do it to protect somebody's feelings.
Wow.
The moment it's called a lie, it's a lie. Okay. Now, what is happening is, though, I mean, I just want to give an introduction to what we're doing today,
Yes.
honesty.
Yes.
In recent days, we've seen how dishonesty, you know, the opposite of honesty is dishonesty.
Honest.
How dishonesty harms other people, their finances, and more importantly, their homes. Dishonesty
This is JafriQ
destroyed
Radio.
thousands of people's home. Thousands. And as we speak, dishonesty continues to destroy people's home. We don't have statistics, we don't have data, but yet I believe every day, because of dishonesty, somebody might either have might either have a trouble in the house, leading to maybe a breakdown of marriage system, or anything connected to what we're talking about. Let me try and see if we can define what honesty is all about. From a research that was done by Mahes in 2014.
Okay.
It says honesty could be defined as truthfulness in speech and in action. Here, the two most important words here is in speech and in action. You don't only speak it, but you also act upon it. Whilst this sound simple, it's surprisingly difficult to practice. Being truthful implies the presence of an active conscience and a working knowledge of ethics, at least at the minimum. Being truthful means listening to, obeying to the voice of our conscience. Let me try and explain this. There is not a single individual whose conscience whose mind will tell him or her that the lies you are telling is the best thing you can do for yourself. Your conscience will tell you that what you're doing is not the best thing to do. So to be able to be truthful means you have to obey the voice of your conscience, because your conscience will never tell you to tell lies. Your conscience will always tell you to tell the truth.
It's true.
So before I'll be able to become a truthful person, an honest person, I have to listen to the voice of my conscience. Not only obeying, but also listening. If you look at the two words in the definition I just gave, it says truthfulness in speech and in action. So I listen to it. I don't only listen to it, but I act upon it. I go and say, do whatever I say.
This is JafriQ Radio.
He says honesty is in a relationship or in a marriage is a very real value that we should do everything in our power to keep it alive. And I'm going to tell you why. Research, very interesting, shows that your longevity, how long you live on earth, and then your health as a person is directly linked with your honesty, with being honest. This is a research that was done by Kalman in 2013. I'm trying to, point to a direction. This is the reason why, in fact, in our setting as Ghanaians, in our settings as people, we need more people to do research in areas like this, because mostly we don't think about it. We don't try to put so much weight on things like being honest and or dishonest. We don't put so much weight. So we need a lot of people to go into this and then research more into, why should I be honest person? After all, what do I gain out of that? This is a research that shows that your health and how long you live, your longevity, is directly connected to your honesty. It means the more honest you are, the more you live longer.
Wow.
Why? Because you do not only listen to your conscience, but you also act on the voice of the conscience. Now, let me also move to another important thing. Honesty in a marriage or in a relationship. You see, in a marriage, you don't only become honest to your partner, your wife, or your husband. You must be honest.
This is
to
JafriQ
your
Radio.
children. You must be honest to them, because they are learning from you. When they find out that you are not being honest to them, they will learn from you.
Exactly.
In moment that you want them to tell the truth, they will also lie to you. You are not being honest to them, so they will also not be honest to you, because they don't see the reason why you being an honest person to them, they should be honest to you, because they are learning from you. Don't forget, parents are the first teachers of their kids. Whatever you teach them, that is what I always say, that there is something in our subconscious. You don't tell people what to do in the subconscious. The people looking at the actions, the environment, they feed their subconscious with those things, and those things naturally comes into their conscience, and they begin to act on it without sometimes thinking about it, because their subconscious already filled up with your behavior, with the environment, with your dishonesty. So you are not only damaging your relationship between your husband or your wife, you're also damaging the relationship between you yourself and that of your children.
Wow. This is very deep. Honesty. In fact, I didn't know that our conscience is attached. But yes, it's true. If we listen to our conscience very well, we will be honest people, because our conscience never lies.
Yeah.
Uncle P.O.D.
Yeah. Auntie.
Auntie. Wow.
Yeah. I think he has said it all. and
That's
he
right.
has taken most of what I wanted to even say.
Mm-hmm.
When you read the book of Proverbs 12 verse 13, it said, lies will get any man into trouble, but honesty, it's its own defense.
Okay.
Lies will get a man into trouble, but honesty, it's its own defense. So it fights for itself.
That's right. That's right.
So a research or the word honesty per research was first recorded in 1300.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 1300. That was the time this word was recorded. So the French, they usually say honesty. Then in Latin, anestas.
Okay.
So where, I mean, the origination of these words. And basically he was talking about truth. Let me talk about how the Webster Dictionary defined honesty. He said Webster Dictionary defines honesty as fair and truthfulness, being free from deceit, genuine, real. So honesty, one statement that it said, honesty is not just truth but truthfulness.
This is JafriQ Radio.
Honesty is not just truth but truthfulness, which means that, which includes the intent of that truth. What is the intent behind? So it's not just like, oh, this is the truth, but what is the intent behind it? So it makes it a little broader, or it makes it bigger. Okay. Then it also says it deals with motives and intent. So what is the motive behind what I'm saying? So it's not just a mere thing. So it's more than truth. That's why it was saying it's the truthness. So it describes everything, not just one thing. So like JafriQ was saying, he was talking about being. So I want to step a little further and say it's what the truthness, because he was talking about intent and the motive and other. These are all part of it. So one thing is that honesty is probably the greatest of all of human values. The greatest of all human values.
Yeah.
It gives us great personal benefits and even greater community and national rewards. So it establishes a solid foundation for us as individuals. You know, if you are very honest, it has already laid a foundation for you. So I know that JafriQ is very honest. That is the foundation. You know, in life, the basis or how you start it will determine the future. So if I begin my life of being honest, it means that is the foundation. So I have that grounds
That's
to move.
right.
So if I have a good foundation and my foundation is honest, it means that you've, because that's why it's probably the greatest. Which means that it's very, very important. So I want to say that as human beings or as individuals, we need to be very honest. And honest is being away from deceit.
That's right.
So that is what I want to say for my initial suggestion.
You know what? Let me just add this to this.
Okay.
You were trying to say that, you know, the way you begin it, if you don't take it, that is how you might end it.
That's
if you
right.
begin with lies, being dishonest, if you don't take it, that is how you're going to end it.
End it. Yeah.
Let me. You see, I mostly love, you know, backing some of these things with what some people have researched.
Yes.
Listen to what. This is a book called Marriage Counseling. It was written in 2000. It was published in 2010. It says,
This is JafriQ
being
Radio.
honest is not always going to be easy. We all know.
Yeah.
But listen to this one. But when you start with little lies, they will inevitably build into a larger ones.
That's
Wow.
right. It's true.
You get
Little
it?
lies.
Yes. Because if you begin with little ones, by the time you realize, it has developed into
A bigger one.
Bigger
Yes.
one.
it's so interesting. So
Can that be said of honesty too? When you begin with, I don't know how, if you can quantify it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I understand. Well, it's very difficult to quantify, but it is in the same direction or in
Yes.
the same vein that we can say that when you start with little honest,
Yes.
being honest in that small thing, that little thing, it will grow to become,
Yes.
you know, a
So
very
that becomes
big
the
one.
foundation.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. So, Madam Moderator, if you permit me, from another book called The Marriage Builders that was published in 2014, he says marriage helps build compatibility in marriage. Honesty helps to build compatibility in marriage. You know, when we talk of compatibility in marriage, there are a lot of people who are married but they are not compatible.
They are compatible. Yeah.
They don't click. The chemical reaction between the two,
Yes, no
it's
chemistry.
not there. They are like North Pole and North Pole.
Yeah. They repel.
They're not.
Yeah.
The moment the other comes closer to the other, you see the other going back.
Yes.
That is how it is. But it says from this book, he says, when we and our spouse openly reveal the facts of our past, our present activities, and our plans for the future. He's talking about three things here.
That's right.
Our past, our present, and our future. We are able to make intelligent decisions that take each other's feelings. And that's how we create a compatibility, by making decisions that work well for both of us simultaneously. What this means is that, yes, of course, everybody has a past,
Of course.
no matter who you are. So if I'm able to share my past with my wife, my husband, it means I am trying to be honest. I mean, of course, a lot of people share their past covering things. That is not being honest. You are sharing, but you're not being honest. But if I can do it with all honesty, in all truthfulness, tell whatever has happened in my past, my husband, my wife will be able to know things
This is JafriQ Radio.
that can easily provoke me, that can easily push me, that can easily, push me off. If I'm able to share all my past, if I'm able to share my present, because sometimes my past experiences will define my present, or it's a definition of my present. What I've gone through in the past is what may be currently, manifesting in my life. So if I'm able to share my past, I may be, my partner or I mean the two of us together, we may be able to establish a link between my past and my present. Together we can sit down and say, I know that you, when I talk about, or when I joke about this, you may not like it from your past experiences. When I tell you something about it, if I'm not telling you the truth, and later you find out the truth, I know this is how you're going to react based on your past experience, based on your past. So if that is the case, how do we mold ourselves into the future? How do we present ourselves into the future? How do we plan for the future so that I don't step on your toes, you also don't step on my toes?
Wow.
In that way, we become compatible.
Of course.
We can build that relationship. So this was part of a book, a book that was published in 2014.
One question. If, for example, the other party has an ugly past, is it necessary to tell your spouse? For example, maybe your wife was prostitute and later you got married to her. You never knew that she has gone through that kind of life. Is it necessary that the man should know that you were prostitute before you got married?
Well, I will not lie to you.
This is JafriQ Radio.
Whoever I want to get married to, if I've not been able to do a thorough
Research
investigation about a person, I would never go into such marriage. So before we get married, I should be able to know everything about you.
Okay.
If not everything, but I mean most of the things that you have done in the past, I should be able to know.
Really?
Because my decision will be based on that. Though I may have a feelings for you, I may see some future for the two of us. But if I don't know much about you, it might cause a marriage breakdown in the future when I get to know from an official source
Okay.
that you were a prostitute. You know what this means? It means that wherever I was working, wherever I had been to, those people who knew that this was the sort of life you were living
Yeah.
That's right.
might
Mm.
have been laughing
Yeah.
Exactly.
at me unknowingly to me.
Yeah.
Okay. But there is one thing. If the lady has been in that situation, I think there are ways of dealing with this.
Okay.
You don't just look at a husband and tell, hey, I was this. I mean,
Yeah.
just look at, first study the temperament of whoever you're going to live with. Study the temperament. How does the person react to news of this nature? Or how will the person react to news of this magnitude? Because in a traditional setting, we hate this.
Exactly.
In almost all the religions I know, hate this. So imagine if the person is a Christian, is a Muslim, is a Buddhist. I know all of them hate that. So imagine if your husband or your wife is belong to any of this religion, how would the person take this? I think there is a way, there is a wise way of doing this. Study the temperament first. After that, gradually, you draw the person closer to what you want to tell. Because I bet you, never hide anything that can cause your the marriage to break down.
This
in the
is
future
JafriQ Radio.
from whoever you're going to live with. Don't wait for the person to hear it from a third party. That is very dangerous.
Yeah.
But if you cannot, better, I'm using the word confide. Better confide in someone you trust so much for the person to help you
Disclose this news.
information to your husband. Because I am telling you, madam, no man. If I say no man, it doesn't mean all men
Okay.
can take this lightly.
That's right.
Slightly. Yeah.
It will be very difficult. But to me, let me add this. All ladies who were prostitute and are no more prostituting and have turned back, they are back to prostitution,
That's right.
and have either married or are in the process of marrying. I am telling you, those people, they could be one of the best couples if they are able to tell their husband their past, because they might have a lot of experience. And having all these experience, having had this exposure, and have decided to go off, to put this away and get married. I'm telling you, such people are, and there is no statistics to say
Back
that,
it, yeah.
but I can say for sure that such people will have a successful marriage, because I know, and I've read on some few of that. I think two people couple of people who the lady was a prostitute, and the husband, he didn't know, got married to her. Unfortunately, the lady was living in Holland. I was a prostitute in Holland. The husband was in Ghana. I mean, at that time they were not married anyway. So when they got back home, when the lady got back home, he got married to this man without telling him. And people who had lived with the lady in Holland later give the information to the husband, and that led to the divorce. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also read in a similar story, but I think the lady was frank with the husband. She told him everything, and that even made the husband love the lady more.
Yeah.
I was shocked. So I think it depends on how you go about it.
Yeah, and
but
I think before even you got married to the person, it's better you tell the person a whole lot about you.
Yeah.
If you have done that before, and the person will decide whether he will continue or she will not. Yeah, I think it's better if you
It
are
is.
honest to yourself and even to the person that you want to marry.
Yeah.
It's better to tell the person a little of your past, and if the person decided to go ahead and marry you, that is fine.
Yeah, I want to buttress what he was saying. You know, you cannot since we are discussing honesty, and one of the thematic areas that we raised was about truthfulness. You cannot
Truthfulness,
separate
yes.
these things.
Yes.
So we cannot separate truth from honesty. And there is a saying that truth can never be hidden. And no truth is
Obepue.
so the best thing is, even though this answer may not be explicit, this is not from a marriage counselor, but I'm talking as a layman. But I think that, like Mama was saying, the best thing is that when you want to marry, it's better you know the person well. Even though you cannot have 100% person. And since JafriQ was saying, you should know the temperament of the person. If I tell this person this thing, how will this person take? What will be his reaction? Because you know that marriage is a journey that you enter. It's a long journey, and a lot of things come into place. So it will be very sad, or it will be very dangerous for not telling your wife or your husband about the things that you were into. But later you will be hearing it from other people. That is very dangerous. That is the most dangerous.
It's a fertile ground
for divorce.
Yes.
It's like the organic soil. All the things become natural. So it means, so what I want to say is that if someone is into that situation, I think that the foundation of the marriage is very important. That is why we are talking about truthfulness and honesty. So this is what I used to do. This is what but right now I have turned a new leaf. That's why I want to marry I want to have a lifetime thing with you. But like JafriQ was saying, those people would have been the best because they've gotten experience. They've seen different type of men.
Oh, yes.
They've gotten to see how people behave, because this is a strict thing. Well, you know, normally people used
Where
to say
anything
that
goes.
yes, if you want to learn something, especially maybe language, you need to learn it rudely. It's like learning it in the street. So it makes things. So these are people who have seen all kind of people in life. They've seen the calm type. They've even to make it in terms of sex, they've seen people with different sex drives. I hope you understand me. But aside that, they are people,
not only different sex drive, different sizes.
Yeah, different sizes. Yes. Then linking it to people's behavior. That is different types of people's behavior. So the one thing I want to say is that it's better to tell your partner that these are the things, because it will be a recipe for chaos or a recipe for divorce when your husband or wife finds out that this was what you used to do without telling the person. So that is what I want.
In fact, two questions has come in. One says, how long should one know a person before getting married? And then the other person, this is from Dickness Adelaide Ansa from UK. She said in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17 states, if any man is in Christ, he is a new creation. All things are passed away. So how can you not marry a woman who have turned away from their past to Christ?
How can you marry a woman who
Now, how can you not?
Marry a woman?
Yeah.
So I believe she's trying to add
Yeah,
more
it's-
to what we are trying
Yes,
to say.
it's
That
what we are
anyone,
trying
I mean,
to
you,
say.
you don't have to, once the person have turned, his or her back from those past deadly behaviors.
That's right.
I mean, there is no, justification for not accepting the person.
Good. And I just don't want to even cut. Even with that, when the person accept Christ, then the person bears the fruit of the Spirit.
That's right. That's right.
Of which
That's right.
honesty and truthness is part.
It's-
So
That's
the
right.
person
That's
will
right.
eventually. It is the Spirit that will be pushing the person to say what he's supposed to.
That's
say.
right. That's right. That's right. So I strongly believe that look, anyone who tends, especially we were talking about prostitution mostly. In our understanding of the word, mostly are done by women, but there are men who also do the same thing.
Yes.
But any woman who put this away, I'm telling you, this person in the first place is being honest for telling you that look, this is what I was doing in the past, and I'm no more doing it. The person is being honest. Me, I would prefer to believe such a person
Yeah.
than to believe some of pastors who are, you know what I mean. I'm telling you the truth. Some of the pastors are not truthful.
That's right.
Some of them are not honest. They are not being honest to us. Some of them, they say one thing and you see them doing another thing.
That's right.
I would prefer marrying a lady who was a prostitute and has willingly and boldly told me, Weku, I know you love me. I also do say, this is what I've done in the past. I've regretted. I no more want to go back. That's why I want to, get clinged to you.
Yeah.
I would prefer to trust this person than any other person.
Yes.
Being truthful is valueless.
Of course. And you know something,
but-
even
okay.
with that, if the person do not tell the person, there is something that eats a person up, especially when you are carrying something psychological.
That's right.
It's even dangerous than someone putting a cutlass or a knife on
That's
your neck.
right.
Because anytime you are moving with the person or you move in a certain area.
This is JafriQ
maybe
Radio.
I used to, maybe the person is a prostitute in maybe, let's say, Accra. And I'm moving with maybe I'm staying in Kumasi. Then we go to Accra together. The moment you get to Accra, psychologically, you have something that will be working against you because you may be thinking that you may go and meet the
someone
people
who
and
knows you.
yes, and maybe someone will be staring at you and your husband may be why this and that at that moment psychologically you don't become sound. So that psychological things even eats you up more than someone putting a knife under your neck.
You know what? You see, but I'm afraid that there's something. I think it was said by opening.
Kojochire. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if all of you have heard of it. He said there was a guy who went to Ghana. He wanted to go and get married to a lady the family have prepared for her. I mean, for him. And when he stepped, when he came out of the airport, he said, no, I mean, let me do my own thing before I go to the village and get married.
Yeah.
So he went and slept with a lady. And when they got back to the village to go and perform the marriage rite, when they brought the lady, unfortunately for him, it was the same person
Hey!
he slept with in Accra.
Accra.
This happens it happened in Kumasi. It was the same person. So when they brought the lady,
This person.
let me remove my spell again. It looks like I'm not seeing well. It's the same person. And
Wow.
then, you can imagine the reaction there. You
That's
can imagine
right.
what the lady too, will be
Yeah.
saying.
Even,
I want
So-
to add
the trauma that she will go through.
Opening Kojochire was saying something. This honesty thing. One guy too was wanted to marry a woman in Ghana, so the woman had to take picture of the person or like herself.
Okay.
Then immediately, with this technology and the woman's height, she's not all that tall.
Okay.
But look how she took the picture,
Okay.
as if
She's
she
very
intentionally
tall.
made here.
Okay.
But so when the man stepped out, because the woman told him that he will be meeting him at the airport.
Okay.
So when the man stepped up at the airport, he was just looking on top. Because he's expecting a taller lady.
A tall lady.
Yes, so all of a sudden, yeah. And he
This
said,
is
is that
JafriQ
you?"
Radio.
So this is the honesty thing that we are talking about. So when you are taking pictures, then take the full one for the person to see that whether you are short or tall. Yes, don't change it. So this is another form of honesty thing that we are
It's
talking
true.
about.
But sometimes our behavior and attitude also put fear
Yeah.
to people not to tell the truth. I remember
I do
one
agree.
lady in a church. She was a born again Christian, not knowing that her past was very, very ugly. She was a prostitute. And one day something pushed her. Let me say the Holy Spirit pushed her to give a testimony about her past. And she said, just as she narrated the story to the church, she became the enemy of the whole church because they thought that
Oh,
she
God.
is so filthy
Oh,
and she
God.
doesn't have to belong to the
Oh, God.
holy saints. And the lady was like, huh? So later, it was affecting her. So one day she came out and also just tell the whole church that she thought it was good to be honest.
This is
to
JafriQ
herself,
Radio.
Right. That's
to
right.
be honest to herself, to tell the whole church about her past, the things that she was doing before, be born again and come to the church. But the whole church treated her very, very unfairly. So after she dropped the mark, she told the whole church that she will go and join the prostitute because they protect, they care for each other. And as for that place, they don't do as the church members are doing. So sometimes when this lady, had a friend who wanted to also maybe change her life and accept Christ, can she also boldly tell people what she has done before? So sometimes the way we treated them would also put fear on them not to open up
Of course.
and tell the truth. So it is better to be honest. And those who are also listening, those whom we confine so much to tell the past, will also know how to handle it and handle it properly. Yes.
No, but unfortunately, this is a very sad incident. If the whole church rose against her, I will try and be a little bit selective of my words here.
Well, yes,
but I would say that they were immature. They need to go and read the letters Paul wrote to is it the Colossians I think the Colossians one or the Ephesians one of them talks about maturity in Christ. They really need to go and read and then understand that those books very well, because I'm telling you, anyone who have decided to turn to Christ, as you know, one of our listeners just wrote, it's a new thing, it's a new creation altogether. All the past, you don't dwell on that so much. They have become a new person, and such a person, I always say, I'd rather trust such a person than most of the people around us, because they are the one who have taken a bold decision, become truthful. They want to tell us what their past is, and then the future decision, in order to move ahead. But I strongly condemn such activity, because we have always become a stumbling block
Exactly.
to most of these people, that we think that they have a filthy past and they are not dignified to be closer to us. Unfortunately, the person has been able to say this in public boldly. What about those of us who have done certain things that we have been hiding it for years?
Yes.
We don't want to say it. We don't want to bring it out. What about? How can you compare? I can't even compare myself to such a person, because I see such a person to be a clean person than myself, because I haven't, made mine public.
That's right.
To even ask for forgiveness. The person has not even only asked for forgiveness. The person has, gone
come out
Beyond,
It means the person has shown a sign of remorse. such a person is better than me.
Of course.
Or it's better than, any pastor who thinks that such a person is so filthy. Or any church
This is JafriQ Radio.
is so dirty that you cannot even get closer to the person. So we have always become how we treat these people, how we attend to these people. Imagine a lady, who have turned, her back to some of these activities, and in her closet, she only has short dresses. I mean, for the first time or for the first few months, it is very difficult to change her closet, the clothes in the closet.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
takes time.
Where is the person going to get the money from? So, in such a situation, you allow the person to wear those things for some time. As you get closer to the person, then you try to convince the person and tell the person, look, I bet you if you wear such a thing that you come and sit in front of me with your legs open, you're trying to push me somewhere. So gradually, you'll be able to change such a person's mind. And don't forget, such a person is so immature because she has no foundation.
That's right.
She has so immature to the extent that if you push the person will fall down.
That's right.
So you have to, do it in such a way that you pamper the person. Pampering doesn't mean don't tell the person the truth. You pamper the person, but gradually you lead the person to the way of Christ or to the way of God. And I believe God will even be much happier with us if we go it that way than to pretend as if, but we are not.
Human beings, let me say Christian, we pretend or we talk as if we will be the people to judge.
To judge.
So sometimes we try to point. My teacher used, and it's a normal thing that we normally say. I think when I was in JSS, one guy messed up, and I went to tell the teacher. Then he asked me who I should show him the person who did that. Then I said this person. So what he told me that, how many fingers did I show on the person? And I said this finger. Then he said, what about the rest? Where is it showing? And I said it's showing on me, because when I do this, it means that the others are. So it could be that this is the thing that the person is, the challenge that the person is having. But you may be having all these things, but it's being hidden. So like in genetics, we have the dominance and the recessive ones. The dominants are the things that shows that we see.
That's right.
Then there are other things that are recessive. So they may be behind, or the things you may not see. But these things can be dangerous. So I may be doing other things, maybe financially. Sometimes people consider it is human being that great sin. Oh, this. But you could see that someone can talk about somebody, and it can cause a lot of things that is even more than murdering the person. But rather, we would say, oh, because this person is into prostitution, he's the most filthiest person in the world. But rather, we tend to forget that it's rather God who determines our judgment, but it's not us. So that is the hypocrisy.
It's not right. We are not encouraging people to enter into prostitution.
But
what we are trying to say is that if someone is on that field and the person has changed or has accepted Christ and be born again, changed totally, we shouldn't point fingers on.
The church should be a home where everybody should be accepted. So when I'm in trouble, the church should be a place that I should have that relief. But when I go there, where my wound is being deepened, how will you take it?
Christ, when he came on earth, he said, I did not come to call the righteous. I came to call the outcast. Anyway,
Yes.
Let me.
we are making sure we don't move from
Yeah.
what we
So-
are discussing. Yeah, but
Now,
Yeah.
let me chip in this because it's very important. You
Still
know,
on honesty, right?
of course.
and we have just 3 minutes to go on break.
Okay.
So let it be quick.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, I want to refer to a study that was done by someone called Bella DePaul.
Okay.
It says people lie in 1 in 5 of their interactions. That was the research that was done.
It's true.
1
5 out of actually, to be frank with you, this is a very serious topic we're
Yes.
discussing
So-
here. Very serious topic.
Somebody has even sent a message about
Okay.
this, that, in fact, God bless you for sharing such an important topic.
Wow.
The person is right.
Very
The,
important.
the
person is
person's
right.
name is.
The person is right.
It's Augustine Ajimai.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
The person is right. The person is telling the truth. Look, it continues by saying that these lies aren't only to strangers or peripheral figures. Couples
This is JafriQ Radio.
regularly deceives each other.
Couples.
Let me finish this before we go on the break. It says dating couples lie to each other about a third of their time. It means when you take all their conversation, about 30% of their conversation are lies.
Whoa.
It has back with facts.
Well, of course. And then listen to what happens within in the marriage setup. He said married couples do so in about 1 in 10 interactions. That's about 10%. But it is still a fertile ground.
That's
for the
right.
divorce. Very serious thing we are talking about.
One
Recipe
even
for
gave
distraction.
example like this. When you wake up in the morning, you ask, "How are you feeling, honey?" And he said, "Fine." But the person knows that
That things
It's
are
not
not
fine.
fine.
she's not feeling fine, but she'll say fine. So there are certain things we
are not being
overlooked.
honest.
We don't think it's something very important, but in fact it's very necessary. Yes. So viewers, we will go on break, and when we come back, we continue. So stay tuned. Don't go away. Oh, wow. It's happened.
I feel loved again. I don't want to wait for days. Let me have you in my arms again, please. When they all said I can't have you, I proved them wrong. I came for you, and you are the only one to. I go fight for your love.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, viewers. We are back. Yes, don't forget that this program is sponsored by Bayside Modeling Agency, the Church of Pentecost Japan, Zion Company Limited, Afro Kids Japan, Simon Noble Solicitors, Turmeric Hotel, Willie Knox Jeans, and 1225 Jeans. We are discussing the topic of
This is JafriQ Radio.
honesty in marriage. Before we continue, let me read the messages that has come in. We have our sister Ohima Mary. She's watching. And Mama Adelaide Ansa, she's a deaconess. It's a good morning, sweet family in Japan. Elder Ernest Dafoe is watching.
This is JafriQ Radio.
Dickness Adelaide, yes, she's watching, of course. And he said, thank you for sharing with us about honesty, indeed, especially Christian homes. Dickness Naomi Zotto is watching. Mama Naomi, we miss you. Yes. I think, I've already read this message about Mama Adelaide of the 2 Corinthians chapter 5:17, where it says, when someone is in Christ, it's a new creation. And then, wow, when you explained, she said, well said. And Mama Adelaide is clapping for her. We have Praise K. Praise K is watching. And then Augustine Ajimai said, God bless you for sharing such an important topic. And Mama Adelaide has come again. She said, I don't think it's our position to be even telling people how to dress. We can advise, but if the individual is safe, gradually the Holy Spirit will teach them into all truth, and that will affect their way of even dressing. So if someone is not, the dressing is not good, as we think, we shouldn't, we are not in a position to tell the person that your dressing is not good. So change and wear proper, decent dress before you come to church. Yeah. So he said the Holy Spirit will teach that person how to dress. And then Aishimina say good one. Good one. Good one. Clemsy says it's great. Okay.
For me, I want to add something. We are talking about honesty, like our topic is.
Yeah.
And we are mostly linked to the marriage issues. But I don't want to divert. I just want to chip something
Okay.
in just 2 or 3 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
Honesty is very important.
Honestly. Honesty is very important. Okay, to be honest with you,
Yes.
honesty is very
Yes.
important.
Because honesty cuts across in all spheres of life. I want to give some examples,
Okay.
and for you to just see. One, if there is honesty, we would have a government based on truth and less bureaucracy.
Okay.
Yes, bureaucracies in the sense that I trust the system. So you know something, if there is honesty, that when you send a document to somebody, he will not just be scrutinizing it and then have to go through a lot of process before it goes, because there is honesty here. So that it breaks that bureaucratic things. 2, if there is honesty, there will be less population in the prisons.
Of course.
Yes, this will disappear because there will be fewer prisoners. I hope you understand.
Of course.
Then, if there is honesty, police and security, these forces could be reduced in greater numbers. Because if there is honest people there, I think there won't be the police around. Because the police role is to enforce the laws.
That's right.
But I know that I have to follow this law. Then there won't be any policeman. Because I know that when it's red, I have to stop. When it's green, I have to go. But because I'm not honest, I may intentionally cross because no one is watching me. So these things can be reduced. Again, it will, if there is honesty, we will live up to our commitment and keep our promises. Then I can tell you that, Brakoku, I will do this, but because I'm not honest, then I'll bring that 419 thing in. But if I'm honest, I'll keep my word. I hope you understand me. And even with finances, if there is honesty,
This is JafriQ Radio.
wouldn't have been. Do you know something? We spend a lot of monies in buying doors that are very expensive, that people cannot penetrate in. But if there is honesty, these banks, it will be just open. Because the money is there is not for you. So why do you go for it? So financially, if there is honesty, there is no need. The bank will just be open. And I know that this is the amount of money that I am having in there. Surely I know that I will not go for other person's money. This is what I have. So you go for what I have. So honesty is very, very important. So for our children will become better students because they will not cheat or copy.
Exactly.
If I'm honest, I make sure that, like examination, I will not go and look at someone's work or this important.
Yeah.
So I think that, like I was saying, honesty is the foundation of
It's the
life.
foundation.
It cuts across. So these things, you cannot take it out of marriage.
Yeah.
You cannot take it. So when you lay a good foundation of honesty in marriage, things become easier. That is what I would say. Yeah.
In fact, that what you are saying is very, very true. It's very, very true. In Japan here, that we are, when they are doing their exams for the small kids, the answers will be at the back. But you will never see a Japanese child
I know, yeah.
turning
Yeah, that's true.
the sheet to look at the back and copy the answer. Never. They will try their best, and even they mark themselves.
I know.
And when the teacher turned the answer sheet and said, mark yourself where you were wrong, you could see that where the person is wrong will mark wrong.
But
Yes, but they will. So it's they teach them the system, teach the children how to tell the truth. And in fact, Japanese people are the most honest people. Yes. Oh yes.
So like if a person, like just like the normal examination, this reminds me when we used to write BEC,
We
they would
will
say,
do our
don't turn the page until you are told to do so. That understand. So if like you practice it like this, whereby even in examination, you are being asked not to turn the paper, but rather do it. why won't that person apply that one in marriage? So these things, so the things that we do, they become, let me say, they are directly proportional.
That's right.
When I do this, it has a direct effect on my behavior or the things that I will be doing in the near future.
That's right.
Yeah.
Uncle.
Thank you very
In fact,
much.
one
You
of
know-
the questions
all right.
we have not yet answered.
Uh,
He asks of how long can one can it take to study someone before getting married?
okay.
Mm.
For this one, I think you answer it, then I will support.
All right, but let me quickly go to what the Madam Moderator was saying.
Okay.
In my few years that I've been in Japan, I have always say, and I will continue to say, and I don't think I'll ever change it. If you ask me to describe the Japanese in one word, I have always said it. I'll go for the word honesty.
That's right.
Always.
Yes.
This is how I can describe the Japanese. And I've always
This is
challenged
JafriQ
myself.
Radio.
What's the percentage of Japanese who are Christians?
0.2, I think.
Okay.
Mm.
What's the percentage of Ghanaians who are Christians?
70%.
More than. Percentage of Italians who are Christians?
For that one, I don't know.
Good. Percentage of Philippines, the Filipinos who are Christians? They're over 90%.
Really?
Yes. They're more than 90%. More than 90%.
yes, for them, Christianity is very.
The the Catholicism is taking almost 80% of the of the Filipinos. Yes. And I begin to ask myself, what is wrong with us?
What is wrong with us?
The foundation. I implicitly, though I'm yet to be told, but anytime I go to a Japanese shop to buy anything, I hardly count the change they give me.
Yes.
I hardly do that
Because they will give you the exact.
because I have studied their behavior and I've come to realization that if I do that in front of them, it's an insult. It's an insult because because of how the foundation of the Japanese
Yes.
is built on honesty.
Even if you forget the change and go,
Oh.
you could see that they will
run after you.
Okay, they will
And
call you
bring
back
their money back to you.
and give you the money.
I have lost my wallet once.
Me too. Takabane.
And when I went back home, I realized, no, I've lost my wallet. Immediately, I went back to where I thought I lost it. It was a bicycle parking lot. It was not there. I knew that I left it here. So I Googled to look for the nearest police station.
Okay.
And it was very close to the train station. When I went there, the guy looked at me, what's your name? I mentioned my name. Said, wait, I'm coming. And then he brought my wallet. And then he asked me to check if
That's right.
everything is intact. I got it back on that same night.
That's right.
A colleague of mine has lost his wallet 3 times. He got his wallet back intact.
That's right. It's true. It has happened to me before.
And I've met a couple of guys who said the same thing. Japanese are not Christians.
They are not.
A lot of them are not Muslims. A lot of them
They
are not Buddhists.
They are not Buddhists.
What is happening? Honesty. I have seen that honesty is built. It's not something that comes automatically. It is built. We have to work on it. Look, when you go to the seminary where the Catholic priests are trained, in their exams, they give the questions to them, and whoever is teaching them will have to go and sleep. What are they teaching them? They are telling you that if you are saying you have been called by God, you want to be trained and become a priest, nobody's going to, invigilate you.
That's right.
Write your exams. You have all your books around you. If you care, you can take the book and do your copy. Nobody cares. So, psychologically, they are telling you that look, the path you've chosen should be a path of honesty.
That's right.
You should not dare in a day think of being dishonest, because it will come back to hurt you.
That's right.
So, I think it's good we are discussing this important topic,
Yes.
because personally,
This is JafriQ
we
Radio.
have to work on our honesty. We have to work. We have a lot of work to do. How do I train myself to be an honest person? How do I help my wife, my husband, to be another honest person? How do I help my kids to be an honest person? Let me tell you this. In our local dialect,
Okay.
yes, see, near Yebeka, ama bofrabo ni tinko die eye bebre. I hate such sayings.
Yes.
I have once told my
It means
wife.
that. Okay.
I remember one of these days, my wife. Oh, my son said, "Daddy, he wants this," and he said, "Man, dear, not that I don't want to buy it for the boy. It because it will not help him at his age." My wife said, "No. I said, "Yeah, catch it up for boni tinko de bebre." I said, "No,
I will not.
I will not do that." Look, I called my boy. We sat down, and I told him, "Look, Kwame, you know Daddy loves you so much. Your mom also loves you. We love you. We want to get everything for you. But let me tell you one thing. This, at your age, will not help you because of this. The guy, young guy, I think by then he was around 7 years or 8 years?
Okay.
He listened attentively to what I was saying and said, "Yes, Daddy, I understand it." Look, if we don't tell them from now,
I will buy later. The child. Will,
of course, I thought, look, it will be very useful to you when you are at this age. I mean, we are not helping our children.
Exactly.
We are only telling them.
Yeah. We.
No, about the
all the
oh,
time.
thank you, Daddy. We are not helping. Why is it that my wife was able to say this? Because that's
right.
But we are not helping our children. I am saying honesty. We have to work on it. We have to build it. But it starts with us first before we can help others to also do same.
Yes.
We used to even say that when someone is coming to look for your father or your mother, then you tell the child that catch and say
Minimo.
Papa say Minimo.
Interestingly, one day my mom told me, "Bagu, okwaya catch him say, me, and then came up at you. I will not do it." Well, my mom was surprised because I was bold, and because I felt we are not helping ourselves, we are not helping the kids, we are not helping our future. It will surely come against us one day, in one way or the other.
In fact, Uncle Kweku, someone is asking a very difficult question here.
But I think we have still not answered that question. Probably we'll come back to
Yeah,
that.
we'll come back.
The question
We are
is posed.
dodging the
That,
question.
is it proper to keep a susu, like
Susu box.
susu box without telling other partner that I have this kind of amounts with me in a susu? Or is it not the question?
But I
Dispose. Oh, okay.
okay.
Should one keep or dispose his or her susu to one's
Partner.
susu partner or what?
Okay.
No, I get it. Is it?
Okay.
Should I mean, should one keep it or disclose it to the other partner. So it's either you keep it secret or you disclose it to your partner. Okay? I will say it and I will say it again. I don't hide some of these things.
Yeah.
When it comes to money, money, people say money is the root of all evil. I don't agree with them. Money is not the root of all evil, but rather the love of money is the root of all evil. It is rather the love. People love it so much to the extent that I'll prefer killing my wife, prefer killing my husband because of money. The money is not an issue. But the sort of, the too much love for that money is the issue. Why should I keep...
This is JafriQ Radio.
Why should I keep my susu or my secret savings I'm doing from my husband, from my wife? Why would I do that? Is it proper? Should I disclose it to him or her?
But what if the person has good intention? Maybe fine. I may not tell you that I'm keeping this susu, but rather I have good intention.
Is that being honest?
Yeah, you're not being honest. But I'm talking about the intention behind it.
For example,
The intention behind it. Sometimes there may be surprises in marriage.
Okay.
Sometimes there are certain things. Let's be very honest here. We cannot 100% tell. Like, we cannot be 100% honest.
That is true.
That is true.
That is
Good.
true.
So in that point, you cannot show everything. I'm not defending that aspect, but I'm taking this clue. I know that my husband has been giving me money and other things. Sometimes he wants me to spend this money, but I know that fine, he's giving me money, but I also have plan B, that maybe there will be a time that my husband may not be able to give the money as it is. But let me create an avenue that the money that he's giving to me, I may keep it, but I will not tell him. But in case there is emergency or there is anything, I can bring this thing out. I'm not having my issue is the intention behind that. If I have that intention that I'm keeping it for maybe my personal something, I think that intention but if I have that intention that I'm keeping it to support the family, I think that even if the time comes and your husband says, hey, Ususu box here, but you can tell the person that, oh, this is my intention, that the main reason why I'm doing it is because of this. But sometimes, like you are saying, money issues is like okra. Very delicate. It's a slippery ground to walk on. You may have that intention, but it depends on how the person will take it. I hope you understand. It will depend on how the person will even take it. So to me, to some extent, it will depend on the intention. But on the whole, it's better maybe you tell the person that this is what I... But even with that, I think, good. I'm talking about one aspect of it, of maybe keeping it and maybe surprising your husband.
Yeah.
Or the other aspect, you keeping it but telling your husband, and it could even inform the husband that maybe, if he also gets any money, he can even also come and add it up. Because if I'm being honest, or if I tell I have created a susu box, I'm keeping my, so you tell your husband, this is my intention. I think when your husband even have something, he can also deposit in it. That is what I want to also
But
say.
sometimes you want to surprise your husband.
I
did that before, I think.
So those things are there.
There have been situations whereby you've gotten to a point. I've personally experienced that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know that I don't have money, but my wife will be pulling money. She will be bringing that my hand. So I asked her, how did
for
they...
the ladies.
It's women's secrets.
Yeah. So sometimes I ask him, Usi Kanen Sayana.
In such a situation, I am not God. I don't have the the criteria to judge, but I want to believe that in such a situation, God doesn't judge the action, but rather judge the motive behind what you're doing.
This is JafriQ Radio.
If the motive is to uplift the marriage system, I mean your marriage home, your marital home, I believe that is how God. I think that is how God will judge such an action. But keeping it away secretly, it means there is an evil, a sinister motive behind your action.
Okay, I want to come in here. Before you married your husband or your wife, you trust the person, or there is sort of honesty. So why, if your wife start to make susu, or why do you think that the person has a different motive? I don't know if you get where I'm coming from, because I trust the person, and when I go and see the susu box, because I trust the person, I know that she's keeping it for the family. So why should I argue on this? I don't know if the point that I'm making is clear, because our marriage is based on honesty. Then you go and see that I've kept a susu box somewhere, but I've not told you. But you already know my mind that I've been an honest wife or husband to you. So why do I have problem with this?
In fact, with this, if you are honest, you would have told your husband that, or your wife, that I have a susu box here. The fact that you are keeping it from him without telling him or her is you are not honest
being honest
with him on that area. For example, maybe you want to surprise your husband. That's
good. Maybe let's say it's birthday, I'm planning it for. I cannot come and tell you.
Yes, ask for that one. Yeah, because
why is it that ask for that one?
Listen, at the end of the day, no, I did that one before. I think my boss even know of it. I wanted to surprise my husband on his birthday, and I needed to buy something for him, and it was very expensive. So I decided to do susu. Yes, in order for him not to know that I have taken that amount from our savings to buy that thing. So I was just doing susu behind it. And when the day is due, I even called my boss and told him, this is what should I do. And then we did a plan, and I bought that thing. But they said, where did you get the money? Because you have not withdrawn that money from the account. And I said, I was doing susu. So I knew that I would definitely told him where the money.
So the motive will be
important.
judged, not the action at this point.
So what about in the process that maybe let's say the birthday is on the 30th, then on the 15th you go and see the box.
No, that is a very serious thing.
I'll tell you, it's so much inquisitive.
That is you know what happened to me one day. My wife and I, we all had a susu box. Anytime I go and check, I see that my wife's susu box is heavy than mine. It was heavy. You know what happened?
No.
She has been taking my money from the susu box.
Your wife is listening.
Yes, she's listening. She's watching.
At the point in time, I went and my box was empty.
He has been siphoning.
and all of a sudden, I also saw that her box was empty. I said, hey, come here. You're hiding something from me.
That's right.
And that was just by the way, because it's so nice. It's so nice when you do things openly.
Yes.
I mean, you don't hide things from your wife or your husband. It's so nice, and it calls for.
But this surprised them.
Let me come in here.
It's good.
Let me. You made an important point here. When we were dating, we might have dated based on love, trust, and other things.
Yeah.
So when we got married, I want to still believe that we have that trust. We hold on to that trust. So why would I doubt you and not reveal it to you that I'm doing this secretly? If it's not to surprise the person. Okay, let's put it that way. let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. When people are dating or courting, they hide most of their behaviors.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not reveal their real character when they are dating.
It's dangerous.
Oh yes, it happens. And most of these people shows their true color when they have the ring,
Have the ring. Wow.
and that is a dangerous thing to do. I rather prefer that we show ourselves our true colors, so that when we go into marriage, it becomes very. So that is one of the reasons why when people goes into marriage, sometimes they do doubt
Yeah.
the integrity
Integrity of the. Okay.
of their partners or their wives and husbands, because when they were dating to school, but when they got into marriage,
Marriage is about,
begin to
yeah,
change.
Yeah.
they begin to change.
Okay, let me read a few messages that has come again. We see Sister Gina. Fia Gina is watching. Jojo Dro is watching. Abi Shololo Yao is watching. And Ernest Dafoe is watching. Ernest Dafoe says honesty in marriage is very important, because honesty and transparency are tools for love and weapon against shame. When we choose dishonest, our spouse actually rob of our opportunity to love and encourages growth and add a depth to relationship that cannot be replicated. Transparency builds a strong foundation in marriage and creating trust. Elder Luck says, really, you guys are doing well. Keep it
International
up.
presiding.
International presiding.
This is JafriQ Radio.
International presiding. Thank you so much. And Elder Ernest, we hear you. Thank you.
And then is the one you kept the susu box for.
Yes, the other time I kept this box for him. And Elder Ernest is writing a lot. Okay, they say God bless you all. And then Mama Adelaide said, true motive of doing what you are doing is the key. I think
Yes.
it was about the susu.
Yes, the
The
motive.
susu thing.
The motive
Yes.
behind it.
The motive
Uh-huh.
behind this. And viewers, very soon we'll open the phone lines so you can call and give your idea, and your contribution is also needed. So please don't forget to call us. Okay. Right. Let me just give you the telephone numbers. Once again, it's running in our screen, so you can still watch from there. But if you want to call outside Japan, just add +81 70 42 sorry. Okay, I will tell you the number later. Yes. Okay. The number is +81 70 4231 9331. Yes. 4231 9331. So please, if you want to call, just call and give your contribution. And we have Clement Isel. Okay. Clement Isel, sir, please. I have a question. What if a lady told you Anytime she got money and tells the husband will find a way and take the money from her, but she doesn't give the money to the husband. He ceased to talk to her, and also if she gives the money to the husband, she doesn't see what he does with the money. So please, with this, what should the lady do? Or let me just read it again. Say, please, with this, should she let her husband know when she got any money? The question is on bad. If the woman discloses the money to the husband will take the money away from her, and then he will not even know what the man is using the money for. Uncle Kwegu, if this thing happen, should she continue to disclose to the husband, this is what I have been saving, or this is what I have, or it's not necessary, she should keep on saving?
If I understood very well what he said, well, I mean, what the question or the listener want to say,
okay,
is that anytime, well, the money is hers, the husband requests for it, but she doesn't know what the husband uses the money for. So it's like, you working, your husband take the money and spends it as he likes. Okay. And should the husband, should the wife continue to give money to the husband as this things continues to happen? It's very difficult. But let me tell you one thing before we go to this. Men, we have a domineering attitude.
Okay.
And we show that in marriage. We want to dominate. We want to control. We want to be in the seat of direction. We want to tell them what to do. I mean, your wife at what to do at any point in time. So we have that domineering attitude. And I want to say that it has both positive and negative side.
Okay.
I mean, because of time, I don't want us to go into that aspect, but I want us to look at the situation we have at hand.
Okay.
There is nothing wrong if a lady gives her money to the husband. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay.
There are marriages, when you go to people's home, they will tell you one of their source of happiness, growth, is that both couples do not hide their monies from each other. They put them together. I mean, that could be one of their sources of happiness. Okay. But in this case, I don't know if the husband is working. If the husband is not working, but always demand money from the wife, and spends it, the husband spends it as he wants, as he wishes, I think it's very serious and a bit dangerous. A bit dangerous in the sense that we have something called NCNC. No contribution, no job. But though, I mean, this NCNC mostly do not apply in marriage. But in a case where, I mean, the man always demand from the woman, the husband always demand from the wife, always. Oh, that has been the trend all the time. I am telling you, they come to a time in our local language, I say, insu what you walk. Insu tie upon chirania. What you walk. Naturally, I don't think, I mean, there is a need to tell the lady continue or not. It will come to a time the lady will tell you, I'm fed up.
Yeah.
I cannot. I cannot. We should be very careful the way we interpret some of these things, because you don't know what the two have agreed on.
Okay.
It may happen that that man is not working, but the two have agreed
Okay.
to, go on that direction for some time. But there is one thing we should also not forget: too much of everything is bad. Too much of everything is bad. Let me ask this way: what if the woman is not working and the man is the one always providing, and here the woman do not account for what the man gives her? Nobody will hear of it. In matters of this, nobody. It's not a news. It will never become a news.
Because God has created men to always,
No, because because.
and we are in the position to receive.
But
all the time.
Personally, I will want to caution all men to think twice when they are exercising their dominion, because it's very dangerous.
Yes.
Say, hey, I will direct. Bring the money. I will direct what. It's a bit dangerous, because if you do that and you continue to put fear in the lady or their wife, she will start hiding things from you. She will start hiding things from you. Those things nobody will tell her. It will come naturally, because to every action, there is
a limit.
there is an equal and opposite
Action and reaction are
Reaction,
opposite.
okay,
and
okay.
Newton's third law.
Yo, when I'm physics.
Yeah.
So indeed, I will prefer. Men, we should be. We should weigh it, because that is our nature. But I think there is a way we can deal with that. I will never advise the lady to give, her whole money to the husband. I would never do it. I would never advise her. Look, there are so many things ladies do in the house unknowing to the men. They spend a lot of money in the house unknowingly to the men. And yet sometimes some men, we do complain. We do complain a lot. But I bet you
This is JafriQ Radio.
I've been doing a lot of work behind us.
Yeah.
A lot of work behind us. I've always told my wife, if we have the last city, I prefer that you will have that money than me having that money. Because you know how to manage that last peswa, last city, for all of us to have a meal in a day than me. You are a better manager of the house than me,
Of course.
or than myself. So I will never advise the lady to do that.
Good.
I'll
Don't
never-
you think that's the reason why women need to do a little secret?
Those secret ones, part yeah.
When in case of emergency, or sometimes it happens. Yes. Oh, someone is saying when
you
the
see,
kids are hungry.
That is
they will
why
always go
in
to
our
their
budget
mother.
we must always make provision for emergency.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I hear you.
We must always make room for emergency.
So it's better we show honesty.
Yeah.
The man
This is JafriQ Radio.
Wake up and
You
go
should
and work.
wake up. You should wake up.
Wake up and go and work.
That we do in our
Why should you be
marriage.
that
Even
lazy?
sometimes our feelings, we are not honest in our feelings
As
when
in?
it comes to someone say
Bed
when it comes to bed matters. Yes, we know that this place no don't touch. But is it okay? As you know for sure that it's not okay. So we must be honest in all the time. Please you can call in. We are waiting for your call. So please call +81704231 9331.
I want to say something.
Okay.
Aside the questions, I also want to say something.
But let me remind us, we still have a question and answer. I think one of our viewers or listeners talk about how long.
How long? And I said that
one
question I leave to you and Dickness to answer.
You people have the experience.
No, you have Dickness has 16 years experience. You have more.
If you ask me how long should I mean, people who intend to marry study each other, I think it varies.
Yes, it varies.
It varies. There is no formula.
Yes,
there is no approved number of months or years.
Yeah.
But please know who you're going to get married to.
Yes.
Know who you're going to get married to.
Okay.
Someone.
I think someone is calling. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Your name and where you calling from? This is JafriQ Radio.
Hello, Nanea.
Hello. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead and give your contribution.
Okay.
I think
the line is.
the line is having a problem.
Okay, so I mean, to cut it short,
Okay.
there are people who I mean, go into courtship and relationship for just 6 months, they get married, and some of them it ends well or it goes well for them,
Okay.
but most of them it doesn't. I think, as I've already said, get to know of who you're going to get married to. If it's 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I know some people who courted for about 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Courtship.
yeah. They wanted to know themselves very well.
It's too long, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It depends. It depends. So please, I mean, it depends on the two of you. But make sure you know the person you're going to get married.
Great.
Even if it take you a longer time, try because what you are going to put yourself into is not a joke.
Yeah. I want to also say something. In order to create an honest society, I think it's very important to create an honest society. Like we were saying, in order to create an honest society, we must start at home.
Yes, charity begins at home.
Yes, that's why we are doing Home Sweet Home. And by teaching our children to be honest and to respect law and authority. So we need to start this from the scratch. Let's say that our generation is being poisoned.
Yeah.
With dishonesty, but we can start from somewhere. That the next generation, that will be our kids. We need to start from that place.
Okay.
We need to teach them. I think, like you were saying in the Japanese school, and I don't know whether it's true or something. I read somewhere that even in the Japanese school, maybe from 3 years or so, the children are taught honesty. I don't know whether it's factually correct also. I don't have...
They are lower primary.
Primary
1, 2. Go and look at the number of subjects they teach them.
Okay.
I think there are 3 or 4. And it's based, all of them, or most of them, are based on value creation.
Good. So it means that
values.
We can change the society.
Exactly.
It must start from somewhere. So, like you are saying that the development of a person's life starts from the home. I hope you understand me. So the environment that you build up. No, I used to say that we have nature and nurture. In nature, that is the genetic makeup of the person. And in nature is the environment that surrounds the person. So the environment that we find ourselves. So when we create an honest environment for our kids.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, here is JafriQ Radio, Home Sweet Home program. May I know your name and where you calling from?
My name is Dickness Adelaide. I'm calling from the UK.
Oh, Mama Adelaide, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you,
You
mommy.
know, you guys are really hammering on at a very, very interesting topic, you know. And my contribution
Okay.
is that, you know, honesty, because looking at from the Christian point of view,
Okay.
you see, we have to be honest in every area of our lives as a Christian. It doesn't matter, you know, because the word of God admonishes us to be honest.
That's right.
So whether in our marriage, whether in our workplaces, wherever, we have to be honest.
Yes.
Honest is the key. I like when the other gentleman, I think Mr. Edu,
Okay.
mentioned about, you know, if you're going to marry, you have to know your spouse
Yes.
for quite some time, or to know your spouse very well.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to know someone, but then you cannot know the person. You just cannot know a person. It's only the Holy Spirit that knows a person.
Okay.
You see. So for us to marry, we need to be prayerful and also be encouraging that whoever we're going to be married to, honesty will be our number one goal. So it's a very good topic.
Great.
Very, very, very good and interesting topic.
Thank you.
Because you cannot know someone. You just cannot know someone. Even in courtship, the person might come across like, you know, somebody who is honest, as he rightly said.
Yeah.
But then the minute you to say, I do, the honesty go out of the window. You see. But because of the word honesty, if we all keep holding on to that honesty, even in that time that the individual, the wife or the husband tries to be dishonest, if we hold on to that honesty and keep praying for that individual, even if it's a husband, if it's a wife, keep praying, interceding on their behalf, encouraging them to be honest. I think that will help. And that will also, you know, minimize divorce.
Okay. That's true.
That will also minimize divorce. Because
true.
someone will come and say, oh, when we were courting, she was this, he was that. But now that we've married, all I'm seeing is a different angle. You know? So dishonesty have stepped in.
True.
But there's also a word called forgiveness. So we need to look at both ways.
Okay.
That's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you. Nanaya says arigato. Thank you, Mama. God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. Have a great.
Thank you, Mommy. That's Mama Adelaide from UK. Said, honesty minimize divorce. So we should do our best as marriage couples to be honest with each other. The beginning of the program, Uncle Koku said something. He said, even if it will hurt you, you have to
Get you
say.
into trouble.
Even if it will put you into a huge trouble, it is better to say the truth than to lie. Do the white lie. Wow. So we have just a few minutes to end the program, and another messages has come again. Mama Adelaide, she was up. She said, That's true, Dickness Abena. Men are supposed to be the breadwinners of the home. So men, please, you have to get to your responsibilities
We'll be
very
the
well.
bread eaters.
And Mama Naomi is watching. She said, God will richly bless you for such an educative and inspiring program. Long live JafriQ, long live home, sweet home. And she added, laugh. Whoa.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, Uncle Kwaku, the time is almost up.
Yeah, that's right.
And your last submission.
Yeah,
Then
I
we
mean, to help all of us, because we are all learning. The
Yes.
fact that we are saying it doesn't mean we are right. We are the best. I'm telling you,
Yes.
we are all learning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are all
oh,
learning.
exactly.
So to help all of us, how do I become an honest person? Listen to this. I mean, there are a lot of them, but unfortunately, I can just give some few of them.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the first thing is to know yourself and know your intentions.
Okay.
Okay, how do I explain that? Before you be able to be honest with someone else, you must know yourself. We have to understand that we have to understand what we really think and feel about the world around us. Very often in life, this is what happens. We are either influenced by
Okay.
or conforming to a series of shoulds imposed on us by society, particularly in our culture, within our families. Everyone is getting married. Everyone is settling down. Or we may also refuse to get closer to someone because our parent never got along. Those are the shoulds. But does that defines us? Does that define me? Everybody is doing this. Everybody is going that direction. Our culture says we should go that direction. But does that define me? It means I don't know myself. I don't know my intentions. My parent never got well with that family.
Okay.
So I'm not going to also get closer to them. But I mean, we act. So the shoulds that has been imposed on us by our culture, in our families, and the societies, is one of the things that is hindering us to become honest people. So let us know ourselves and know our intentions.
Let us know ourselves and know our intentions. POD, your final word.
Yeah, for my finance, I think it's almost time. But I wanted to say, give some steps. But I think that I will maybe another time when we have the opportunity.
Okay.
But what I want to say is that honesty is very important. So we must be transparent,
Okay.
sincere, and frank with everyone.
Okay.
Never tell half truth.
Okay.
Half truth is very dangerous. Avoid exaggerations. So when you say half truth, it's being dishonest.
Okay.
When you exaggerate, it's what you are being dishonest. It confirms what Brankoku was saying, that in every like 10% of marriage speeches and other things, there is sort of dishonesty.
Lies.
So in that aspect, you can find half truth in it.
Okay.
You can find exaggeration.
This is JafriQ Radio.
So what I want to say is that dishonest behavior is very hard to manage. So as family members or as family, what we
Marriage
have to do is
couple.
that we need to be very honest with our things. Never tell half truth and never exaggerate. Thank you.
Wow, viewers, you heard it by yourself. Never tell half truth. Never exaggerate. We have to end up here. We will come again next week with another incredible topic. So, always tune in to JafriQ Radio Home Sweet Home program, 4 o'clock each Sunday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Thank you so much, Mr. Kweku Edu, for such beautiful submissions. Thank you.
This is JafriQ Radio.
Thank Uncle POD. You can call him Diamond Prince. Diamond Prince. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the ideas sharing this on this program. We have our engineer, DJ Clemsy. DJ Clemsy, thank you so much. And our producer POD is on the seat. And then POP. You can call him Nanayao also. We thank you. Our next program is Worship Hour. And it will come.
This is JafriQ Radio.
6:30 p.m. So we have just 30 minutes. Then we'll continue our next program, Worship Hour. So please, just rest a little and come back again to worship with us at JafriQ Radio. Until we meet again next week, we say sayonara.
Lord Sky on the beat.
I'm sorry, 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 I'm sorry. Some say that I'm blind, no be my way. There's nobody like you. I gave you my heart, then you throw it. Yeah, yeah. I can't believe, say, now the person where they try to deceive me. Yeah. The girl sexiness, no be play, play. Yeah, girl, I go die for your body, oh. Get me, I go fight anybody, oh. Any bagger we go try me, then go soji, oh. Cause them other girls, they no sabi, oh. Girl, I go die for your body, oh. Get me, I go fight anybody, oh. Any bagger we go try me, then go soji, oh. Cause them other girls, they no sabi, oh. Girl, I don't mind. If not fight, I go fight for you. Yeah, and I don't mind. If not to cry, I go cry for you. Yeah, I don't mind. Me, I feel do anything for you. Girl, if not to die, I'm not gonna die for you. Cause this is reality. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is reality. I'm sorry, not reality. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. She got a lot of sugar daddy, them plenty. Yeah, yeah. I know say my girl no be senti. Cause I know what I'm feeling. Gucci LV, she get them Chanel and Fendi. Ferragamo Bentley, Lamborghini Benzi. She get them. See my life and my pocket empty. It's not easy to be a man, oh. I'm just a hustler and I want to survive. Oh. It's not easy to be a man, oh. I'm just a hustler and I want to survive. Just to survive. Girl, I go die for your body, oh. Get me, I go fight anybody, oh. Any bagger we go try me, then go soji, oh. Cause them other girls, they no sabi, oh. Girl, I go die for your body, oh. Get me, I go fight anybody, oh. Any bagger we go try me, then go soji, oh. Cause them other girls, they no sabi, oh. Girl, I don't mind. If not fight, I go fight for you. Yeah, and I don't mind. If not to cry, I go cry for you. Yeah, I don't mind. Me, I feel do anything for you. Girl, if not to die, I'm not gonna die for you. Cause this is reality. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is reality. I'm me, then go soji yo. Cause them other girls, they no sabi yo. Girl, I go die for your body yo. Get me, I go fight anybody yo. Anybody we go try me, then go soji yo. Cause them other girls, girl, I don't mind. If not fight, I go fight for you. I go fight for you, and I don't mind. If not to cry, I go cry for you. Me, I go cry for you. I go cry for you. Mind. Me, I feel do anything for you. Girl, if not to die, I'm not gonna die for you. Cause this is reality. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, this is reality. I'm sorry, not reality. I'm sorry, this is reality.